Title: The Watcher in the Shadows. In the small town of Red Hollow, rumors circulated like wildfire each autumn about the Mothman, a creature said to be the harbinger of doom. Legend spoke of its shadowy figure, expansive wings, and glowing red eyes. Many dismissed the stories as mere folklore, the stuff of campfire tales, but for Cassie, a budding photographer with a penchant for adventure, it became an obsession. As Halloween approached, Cassie ventured into the nearby woods, her camera slung around her neck, her friends, Maya and Ben, reluctantly following. "It's just a myth, you know," Ben scoffed, kicking a stone down the path. Maya bit her lip, casting nervous glances at the dense thicket lining their trail. "Maybe," Cassie replied, "but what if it's more than that? There's gotta be a reason people around here are so spooked." The stories always came alive under the veil of darkness, and today, the leaves rustled ominously, filling the air with an unsettling energy. As twilight descended, the trio found themselves deep in the woods, surrounded by towering trees that cast long, spindly shadows. Cassie raised her camera, snapping pictures in hopes of catching something out of the ordinary. "Okay. Stop for a second," she called, motioning for her friends to strike a pose. In the fading light, the world around them felt otherworldly, too quiet, too still. Suddenly, a gust of wind swept through the trees, carrying a low rumble that unsettled the trio. "Did you hear that?" Maya whispered, scanning the gloom. The palpable tension thickened as they continued walking, the crunch of leaves beneath their feet echoing loudly in the silence. Moments later, Cassie froze, her heart racing. Through her camera lens, she spotted a figure gliding effortlessly between the trees. Alien and graceful, it stood at least 7 feet tall. A massive cloak of darkness obscured everything but 2 piercing red eyes that seemed to glow in the shadows. She raised her camera, fingers trembling, and pressed the shutter. The click sounded deceptively loud in the eerie stillness. "What did you see?" Ben whispered, anxiety creeping into his voice. Cassie lowered her camera, adrenaline rushing through her veins. "I think I just saw it. The Mothman." The words slipped out with a tremor as she fought to stifle her fear. "Let's get closer." "No way," Maya protested, fear evident in her gaze. "We should go back. This isn't just a tale anymore." But Cassie was undeterred. This was her chance, an opportunity to capture proof of the mysterious being. As she urged her friends on, they hesitated, but her determination proved unyielding. "Come on, just a little closer." Before they could argue, she led them deeper into the woods, until the silhouette appeared again, flitting between the trees with uncanny speed. Camouflaged against the upcoming night, it seemed to be watching, waiting. They stumbled upon a clearing, illuminated only by the crescent moon, and that's when the atmosphere shifted. Suddenly, a loud, anguished screech pierced the air, sending icy chills racing down their spines. It was the kind of sound that clawed at the edges of fear, ensnaring them in a spider's web of dread. Cassie raised her camera, the lens trembling in front of her face, and captured the dark outline silhouetted against the moonlight. But as the flash went off, the creature darted forward, unleashing a frenzied chaos. Panic surged through Cassie. They turned to run, but it felt like the night itself had come alive, ensnaring them in an unyielding grasp. The flapping of wings echoed, monstrous and overwhelming, cutting through the still air. Cassie tripped, the camera flying from her grasp. It crashed onto the ground, the sound marked by a shattering of glass. "We have to go, now," Ben shouted, pulling both girls along as they dashed through the underbrush. But it was too late. Movement in the shadows quickened. The feeling of being pursued clawed at them, a primal instinct ignited by the fear that clung to their skin. They scrambled over roots and rocks, the creature's unholy cries sparking adrenaline-fueled speed. The path they had taken became a maze, a twisting labyrinth of trees and looming shadows. The red lights flickered through the darkness, inching closer despite their frantic flight. Then, in their desperate escape, Maya disappeared into the foliage with a horrified shout. Cassie and Ben glanced back, terror seizing their hearts, but they pressed on, horrified by the thought of losing their friend. At long last, they stumbled out of the thicket, collapsing onto the main road, gasping for breath. "Where's Maya?" Cassie wheezed, eyes wide as the shadows closed in around them. Panic coursed through her, and she grabbed Ben's arm. "We have to go back. No, Ben yelled. We can't. But Cassie refused to listen. Thoughts of her friend consumed her. Eager to confront the darkness, she turned back toward the woods, the chilling cries still echoing in her ears. That night, the townsfolk heard the mournful howls carried through the trees, the wind whispering of secrets lost in the shadows. The tale of the Mothman had transformed from folklore into a chilling reality, and just like countless others, Cassie learned that some mysteries are better left unsolved, trapped forever in the silence of the woods. As dawn broke over Red Hollow, the woods held their secrets close, shielding whatever lingering presence dwelled deep within. And for those brave enough to wander their paths, the whispers of the Mothman echoed in the rustling leaves, a warning to heed, lest they too become part of the legend.